Hello, happy Sunday, everybody.
We're here.
We did it.
Happy
I'm really
Sunday.
liking this background a lot more.
It's nice. It's
It
comforting.
doesn't feel nice. It's a nice
Yeah.
color.
Yeah, it looks a little like colory.
Yeah,
It's nice. I like it.
love it.
Yeah.
Happy Sunday. Welcome back to Fangirlz Assemble. Today we're talking about Icon and Rocket Season 1. So this is the reboot of the Milestone Comics Icon. So recently DC within the past year rebooted all of these. And I need to read all the rest of them because they did a great retelling of the story. We'll get into that. But first, I guess we should talk about our sponsor, InStockTrades.com, where you can get probably this book. I would assume it's new and been released in physical, and many others for up to 50% off. And if you spend $50 in the United States, you get free shipping. Love that.
So good.
And great packaging.
Oh, and that packaging.
Yeah.
I'll never be over it. It's just the best.
Because you want your packaging to be like famed superhero icon.
That's right.
Virtually indestructible.
There you go.
That was
And
good, right? It is.
And that's why you should buy the books from InStockTrades.com.
Yeah. I feel like the only thing that could really destroy it is a shape-shifting alien.
Which, sometimes those exist on certain mail trucks. And then, it's fine, though, because they have great customer service and you can contact them and they'll hook you up.
That's right. They'll get it.
Big deal. They got you.
We'll understand. Look who's all here. James and Mark and Chris. Hello.
Hey, hi, everyone.
Those beautiful foam pillows.
Yeah. Yeah, they cradle your
They're
books.
so good.
Your books are just sleeping in their package. They don't have to worry about anything. It's great.
Hey, friends.
Hey,
Mary. So this is your first step into Milestone. It was my first time last year reading the OG Milestone comics. And then I was like, why doesn't everyone talk about these all the time? Because you're not a Superman fan.
No.
But essentially you've been given a character that is similar origin, but very different otherwise.
Right.
And I love Superman. But this man is infinitely more interesting.
Yeah, and I mean that's part of my thing, right? I think Superman's very boring. So seeing Icon's powers and being like, oh, okay, he's got powers similar to Superman. He's also an alien. There are absolutely very common things there. But he's got the backstory. He's got, just him as a character is very interesting. I had never heard of this character, actually. I'm sure you've mentioned him before, but I never really understood what he was, right?
Yeah.
So this was, I think, so we read, what is it called? Icon and Rocket Season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And that is on the DC Universe app. So you can get it there. I don't know if
it's been released physically now.
Okay, so you can grab that too, if you prefer. But I absolutely think it's a perfect starting point for anyone because I didn't need to know anything.
Well, they did a great recap because they've redone everything in here very well. Because I read the original, which has actually been re-released. I got mine on InStock Trades, a Milestone Compendium, for a great deal. And man, going to InStock Trades was the best idea because I went to my comic book store and I saw it. I was like, oh. I need it because it's this chunky graphic novel site, not hardcover. It feels like kind of like Strangers in Paradise does.
Okay,
that type of thick
I
boy.
like that. Yeah.
And they're releasing all of them that way, and it is. So now I really want you to go back and read the other stuff because it's definitely different. They've improved some things that I really like. I think they gave a lot more depth to Icon in this. The only bummer is that you don't get to see the constant back and forth between him and Icon and Rocket. Because in the original series, it takes a while for Rocket to convince him to do this. Because he's right-wing, he's conservative. Not really right-wing, he's conservative. And he is in this as well, but they don't go into depth as much about why exactly it's taken him so long to do anything. Because in the original comics, and I'm glad they left it out only because I think it would hit too close to home for a lot of people right now. But she kind of touched on it. She's like, why are you not helping anybody? So basically, people at home, I guess we should explain Icon real quick. So like Superman, he was sent here from his spaceship to Earth. And he was raised here. But unlike Superman, he wasn't a baby. So he knew of his origins. His ship was attacked. Everybody there died except for him. And all he could do was just blindly send himself out into space. He ends up landing on Earth, and his ship is really special because it's this orb, kind of like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. If you've ever seen that, the orbs the Saiyans land on Earth. But when it was touched and found by this enslaved woman, and she touched it, and he just registered her. It's like, okay, for them to protect me, I need to be young, because this race will protect its youth. And so when she opens it, he's a young Black baby. And so she chooses to take him in and raise him. So he's lived since since slavery until now as a Black man. And he's just constantly been like, oh, that's my dad you met. He's doing one of those like typical things. But he doesn't know who he is until a little bit later. And when he discovers his powers and regains his memory. But it's very interesting because he's been basically, besides a couple incidents, under the radar. He's not chosen to be a big superhero until Rocket finds him. And she's just like, what are you doing? There's people that need your help in our communities, and you are just sitting on riches, and you could help people, like really help people. She's like, there are heroes out there, like my mom and like firefighters, which I thought was cute. But you're a superhero. You could be doing so much more. But yeah, that's the quick. I'm interested to hear all your thoughts. I could talk about him forever, and I don't want to monopolize any conversation about him.
Yeah, and I do want to mention real quick, I looked it up. The Milestone Compendium is still on IST, and for their price, it is $34. So,
Kristan, you have to get it. I'm serious. You really do. It's one of the best DC things ever.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in reading like the origin of this character. I will say, so she does show up and she's like, hey, superheroes, and I want to be how'd she put it? I want to be your sidekick, no, your partner. Like she's gonna be like, nah, not a sidekick, I'm your partner, which I thought was funny. And maybe it's just the way I read it, and maybe I just got lost in that beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But did they actually go through and show how he put that belt together for her?
No, they didn't.
Or was it just like, you got the belt?
No. So in the original comic, it kind of like eventually develops where she finds, I think he eventually sets her up, or she finds some equipment of his, but it is alien equipment from a ship. Mm-hmm. So he reuses it to make equipment for her. So she's not just going out and fighting people. So basically it's similar to like Black Panther's powers in a way that where like her belt absorbs power. And so if you keep attacking her, she's not going to get hurt, but eventually the blast will go the other way. And then she has like orbs and stuff that she can kind of, not orbs, but like these gloves that kind of help her do stuff and fly around or whatever. So they don't go into that, which I know that there's other Milestone comics out as well. So it may be that those are explained in the other books. But in the original one, original Icon, it explains that whole process.
Okay, because
they shot forward very quickly,
really quick, and I was like, "Wait, did I lose something? Like, how does she have powers now?" Like, I was confused at first, and then I was like, "Oh, okay." Eventually, they like actually reference the belt.
Yeah,
I was like, all right. But that is one part where I was like, how did that happen?
Yeah, this could have been in Milestone Returns Infinite Edition. We'll have to. I'm gonna read all of these. I don't know what I'm saying, because they released this one, a new Static Shock, and Hardware, who's another character that we didn't really get to talk to, but he's the one that kind of builds all this kind of stuff for them. He's the person to go to.
Interesting. I definitely like after this, because Static Shock does show up.
He's so cute.
Yeah, he's adorable, and like obviously really likes Rocket and that whole relationship. I was already like, okay, I want to go read his stuff now because I like this dynamic, right? So if they are crossing over, then I'm interested.
Real quick, stay safe, Freddie. Nobody saw his comment. I love this book so much, but currently I have a hurricane on top of me, so we'll watch later.
If stay not safe, please. Well, one, I did love it. A spoiler. And also, yeah, stay safe, Freddie. Like, that's terrible.
James said he loves Sack season 1. I've heard good things about it. Sack is the one character that like most people know out of Milestone, because that was the one that they let be and everything. He had his own cartoon show. He's in Young Justice. I think Rocket is also in Young Justice.
I've definitely like heard his name over everyone else. Like I wasn't familiar with him. I wasn't really familiar with him. I've just heard his name.
Oh, you never watched Static as a kid?
No.
Wow, really? I'm
I don't.
surprised.
If I did, I don't remember it.
That's crazy because I feel like all my friends watch Static Shock, like because even the theme song, like the superhero Static Shock, whoop, whoop. It's so
I don't
good.
remember this.
Oh
No,
my god, you gotta watch Static Shock.
yeah. Okay.
What childhood?
I don't know. I'm sure my parents will watch it later. What childhood parents? They may be like, "Oh, you watch that," and I'm like,
Excuse me, Larry's Library.
"Yeah, what are you doing to me?"
I'm Kristen's platonic soulmate and the one who will take care of your daughter should her husband pass. I need you to explain to me what is happening.
Like, what are you doing? I mean, I did. I loved X-Men Evolution, though. Does that count for anything?
James says Static Shock's on HBO Max.
Okay.
Man, I might watch that again soon. But yeah, also, can we talk about Shiomara and the Heartcore and how much I am in love with them and her? I don't even really remember her that much from the original because I read it last year very quickly and I just hyper focused on how cool Icon was. I need to know everything about Shiomara and the Heartcore, about how it's a group of women who have abilities, who work together to like protect the earth. Excuse me. And they have hearts on their stuff and they're so strong and cool. And she is so cool. I guess she's like the Wonder Woman of this probably because they do a lot of like mirroring things. So, we've got Icon who's like the Superman. And then we've got Shiomara. We've got Hardware. You could argue isn't it like a Batman type of kind of, I guess, because of like the stuff he makes. And we've got a speedster person there and like a person who can shrink, all that stuff. But she's so cool and her date was so cute.
Yeah.
And I love them.
Yeah, I love that little dynamic, like unexpected relationship happening in the middle of the book. That was cute. I liked it.
I should share a little picture. One of these is I put on the logo by accident. That's not what I meant to do. I need to share a little picture of the Icon of Rocket that's on our logo or on our thumbnail, and also this great picture of Static and Rocket. But I love their look. I love that she came up with it,
Mm-hmm.
and I love Icon's commanding energy. I think what makes him so special is the way that he approaches things because he has such a depth of knowledge from being alive for so long. And it's not that he is pretentious about it in any way, but he's constantly trying to teach Rocket too, because Rocket's like, okay, then why don't we just fix all the problem? And they do. So the first thing she wants to do is rid the world of the drug trade because she knows how drugs have destroyed her community. And so they do that. So much so that the American government's like, shit, our economy is in shambles.
Mm-hmm.
I know we said we're going to fight the war on drugs, but I didn't think we'd win it. And even their advisor's like, this is what you wanted. This is a good thing. Let's celebrate and learn how to work with it. But it ends up causing all of these unpredictable problems, but also great things. It saved a lot of lives, but also some people, now drugs are still available, but for the rich. And so there's collapse in all these other peoples and communities that have quit their jobs. They're looking for other ways, like sniffing glue, all this stuff. And Rocket's like, I thought I was doing the right thing. I didn't realize it's such a complicated problem. And I love them talking about that because, we talk about superheroes a lot. There's all these questions like, why doesn't Superman do this? Why doesn't Batman do this? And not that they shouldn't still do those things. But as someone who studied in-depth security policies and diplomacy, white knighting a thing is never as easy as just fixing the one problem. It is always so much more complicated. It has to be a holistic approach. And he kind of talks to her about that too. He's like, we can solve this problem with punching, but we can't lift up the people here without doing other things. And he's like, so you need to study. So she still goes to school and she does all this stuff. He's like, you're, and his intention for her is to be, he wants to set her up as a person that's going to unite everyone, which I love. Like from this point, it's like, no, I think she can do it. And her mom's like, oh, she mean president of the United States? He's like, no. Unite the world. I think she's the one. And he is so focused on a holistic growth for her to be that person. And he helps her learn that without putting her down. And I really like this. This is very different from the original one. And I hope it continues this way. They made some choices with her that might upset you a little bit. Because he does have a conservative nature, which does make it a little difficult. Spoiler, she does get pregnant in the original one. Which was still, it led to very interesting conversations. But I'm excited to see how this goes. Oh, also a quick picture of Rocket being really tired of Static Shock, which I love. The Wonder Lady, my internet says, talking about one of my favorite books. Take my like and my love for that matter. I'll take it.
We like that.
Love this book.
Yeah, so it's still going, right? Will there be a season 2?
I'm not sure. I hope so. Sure. The problem, I haven't looked into it, mostly because I was worried I'd be sad.
Yeah, I always worry about like books like this, especially where, you know, you're getting characters that you don't, you know, see a lot of representation in other, you know, realms.
Yeah.
There are definitely really important, interesting conversations happening. And a lot of the big twos, especially, anytime I feel like they touch on anything like that, that book's canceled like all the time, right? So it is worrisome.
Well, and DC didn't do a great job of pushing this either. I think a lot of the Milestone fans, when this got announced, were really excited. And I personally felt like DC could have done a better job of pushing this. Instead of pushing, to me, I'm like, you already have books that are popular, you don't have to push them. People are going to go get them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they made a big deal about Milestone returns. And I think they did it in lieu of other things happening in our society at the time. That was DC's way of being like, oh, well, we can bring Milestone back. I hope that it will be successful and continue, especially because they just released that documentary about Milestone on HBO. So it's a brand new documentary about Milestone Comics. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. I feel bad talking about this and I haven't watched it yet. I want more of this because to me, like, I feel the same way after reading this I did reading the original Icon. I think that's the best. I think Icon's the best superhero I've read about. And I say that I love Wonder Woman. I love all these other superheroes. But like to me, Icon is infinitely the most interesting. I love the way he sees the world. I love his growth with Rocket being a part of it. And I think that a lot of his battles are more complex and interesting. And I wish other superheroes did that.
Yeah, I mean, and to go back to what you said about like them eliminating drugs and I'm having a hard time this morning.
It's okay.
Eliminating drugs within their neighborhood and then pretty much all of, you know, North America where they're at, and then they're hoping to touch on like the world, and they do a little bit of that. To actually go into that conversation is something that I've never read in a comic book before, you know.
Yeah.
To really dive into something that no one really talks about in this medium, like, popularity wise, right? I'm sure that maybe there's a comic somewhere, but to like throw that in, especially to a big 2 book, is something I, you know, didn't expect to read about and to actually experience, which is why I worry about how much it. And also, I had never heard of these characters before. You know, I know you've mentioned Milestone a lot, but I didn't know anything about them. And I like to think that I'm not the average comic reader either. I hear about stuff. I may not read it all, but I hear.
Yeah, but like, right? You know, I mean, like, I think about, you know, you and I getting into comics. You've been in comics a lot longer than me. And even though you know more about Marvel, I know more about DC. But the fact that this doesn't come up was really upsetting. Because, like, we were in the Omnibus Collectors group. We hear about these big stories all the time. We see which books are being sold. Mm-hmm. And I watch things like Comic Storian and all those other things. And we hang out with a lot of people who consider themselves to be, like, top comic book readers. And when they talk about their top superhero stories and talk about other things, I guess comic book influencers, not influencers, but creators, like content creators, I guess. Yeah. I don't hear about it. And I'm like, this is the best book ever. If it wasn't for Phil, Shazam to Jam, who's guest starred on Over Your New Reader with me several times, I would have no idea. And so he brought it, and I was like, I need to read everything. Come back. Let's read Hardware. Let's read all of this because it's so good. And I'm like, how how did this come out? And then it was just, I understand. I know why it came out and then it was dropped
Yeah.
and not talked about. I understand. I don't like that. And I want more of it. And I don't think every superhero comic should be. I understand like the value of having a superhero comic that's just the big thing you read about is they are strong and they beat up one guy and that is it. And that saves the world, right? We save the world by fighting this big thing that's breaking the universe, all these big picture things. But it is so nice to see superheroes care about the little guy, their communities, the systemic problems. Like, because I made a character in Masks. This is sort of related, not related. I play this tabletop role-playing game called Masks, where you're a teenage superhero. And I made my character with Icon in mind of like this girl who lives in a city who's like hates big superheroes because she's like, why? Like it's there's a place for all of that, but all these other people get hurt in the way. Like in The Boys, right, where the superheroes are doing these things, but they're unintentionally damaging homes and infrastructure and people's lives, and they're not protecting the small people. Like people like Spider-Man do. Batman does something. No, he does. But like I don't see this done in a bigger way. He immediately was like, okay, you want to make that happen? Let's make it happen. You're right. I have the abilities. Let's do it. And then let's see.
Which is awesome too, to you know, 'cause she's like a teenager, right? So for him to like respect what she's saying, and even the way they met and her like breaking in with all of her friends, right? Like she comes back the next day and she's just like, "Hi, can I talk to you?"
Yeah.
And he lets her in and he, you know, has a conversation. And for that to even like happen and him not be like, "You're a dumb teenager, this is a stupid idea,"
It was great.
is awesome to see that respect even, you know, happen, to have an important conversation and him respect her and her not just be brushed away like some dumb teenager with a dumb idea, you know.
Well, and probably no one's ever stepped up to him like that.
Mm.
You know, she saw no boundary between herself and him. And she's like, "No, I'm going to talk to you. I recognize what happened yesterday, absolutely. But I'm just going to talk to you as a person, as my equal." And I'm sure he's had a lot of people that they do know about him, you know, are kind of like a sir, blah, blah, you know.
Yeah, scared, yes man.
And even as his regular self, because he's a very wealthy man, you know, he's a lawyer, he's done very well for himself. There is a status there that, you know, keeps people from approaching him. I'm sure he's like, okay, somebody recognizes something in me that other people don't. So cool. They did say SAG season 2, Shadows of Dakota #1 will come out later this year. I haven't seen anything about Icon of Rocket season 2 yet. BJ Kicks has made a lot of videos talking about Milestone and all of its series. Okay, I'll check them out.
Cool, for sure.
And once I finally start going to comic conventions again and doing photo shoots, I always have like a list of like the free photo shoots if you're cosplaying these characters. And so any Milestone character is just going to be in there like, yeah, that one's free.
Yeah. Love
if
that.
you're Roy Harper, it's free.
Yeah.
If any Milestone characters, it's free. Don Troy, free.
Nice.
You just hit me up. Free photo shoots. Thank you. Is a gift for me to do. So glad you read it. Now we can read more of them.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you've went on and on about this compendium, and I'm tempted.
You've got to.
I can't get it right now, but I'll put it on my list.
We can start reading stuff on DC Universe anytime. That's how I read it all.
We're all there, yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's so good. It'll feel different, and you'll have, you may have some complaints about things, and that is of the time period.
I was gonna say that'll happen, right?
Yeah.
What year are we talking? A lot of this came out.
Let's see who can get to it first, me or James. Icon came out. Man, I forgot he's 42 issues. 1993 to 1997.
Okay.
But whenever we do read it together, we'll have to make a little bit of a plan because there are some crossovers between him and like Justice League and stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm into it, for sure, especially with your lovely access to the app. That makes it easy.
Well, and I love the art of him too. Like even in like the older comic, he's so cool. More Milestone. Thank you. Yeah, Town 10.
Yeah, I mean, I I didn't, you know what? I went into it, to be honest, not expecting to love it. Although I didn't know what it was about. I just know you were raving about it. I know Freddie was raving about it. And I was like, okay. But, to be fair to myself, I guess, my bar is usually low for DC because I just don't know enough. You know what I mean? But this was it's very new reader friendly. I didn't have to know anything. I didn't feel that barrier of entry that I felt with things in the past, and that was really, really nice. And they're totally new characters to me, and I really loved it. So I definitely want to read more. I hope it continues. Now I'm just worried.
I know. I'm so worried because I want to see what's going to happen with the shape. Well, I guess the shapeshifter's dead now, but I guess with the world government stuff we're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, they're setting up like a lot of big things that could keep going for a long time. So hopefully it does.
And luckily, Milestone's always been, except for sometimes, I guess not luckily, but somehow luckily for new readers, kind of not in the same universe. They've been brought in once DC acquired Milestone, but it's pretty much its own deal.
That's helpful.
But I think, come on, Milestone should be everywhere. I know that'll hurt our boy Superman, and I love Superman. We all know. You heard it here. I love him. I want them to hang out. Yes, Hayden, one of us. Elliot wants us to read Blue Marvel. Have you read it?
No.
I've been told not to look up anything and just read it, which is, that's my favorite type of recommendation.
Interesting.
I think it's like 6 issues.
Okay.
But that is what I've been told. Well, what's up, everybody? What have y'all been reading? What's new?
Yeah, what's going on?
I have my DC Universe app open, and every time I open, I'm like, oh man, yeah, I should read this other stuff. This looks pretty cool. Like the Justice League Infinity stuff that continues like the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
That looks really cool.
Now that I know all that Milestone stuff is on there, I'm like, are you going to care if I take over your app and start reading?
No, I don't care. Read all of it.
You're good.
No, it's easy for me to navigate. It doesn't bother me. You can make your own list and stuff too, by the way.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So you can make your little like curated like to read.
Cute. I definitely want to read Static Shock now for sure.
Yeah.
We're doing right
you got to at least watch one episode so you know the theme song.
I need to, and maybe I'm just forgetting about it. I don't know.
Superhero, Static Shock. Woo, woo.
I feel like I definitely remember, those like coming up, it's so and so, and I feel like I remember that name.
Yeah, because he's just like a kid, like, and there's like all sorts of like celebrities that were in the show.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
that's fun.
I really want to read at some point. I don't know how much is on DC Universe yet, but the fantasy DC stuff where there are knights and stuff.
Yeah, that's like newer stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't know how much is going to be on there, but I want to read Nubia because that's on here too.
That would be fun.
Oh, there's so much stuff. Yeah, I might treat myself this week and read some stuff. It's been a while. I read Blood on the Tracks Volume 1, so creepy, love it.
I'm so happy to hear you're loving
Making Kristan's day.
Really, I'm through Volume 10 right now, and that's all that's out, I believe. And oh my gosh, it just gets bonkers. It's bonkers. It's great.
Reading a bunch of Star Wars things, finished Padawan, and listening to Dooku, Jedi Lost audio play, and just finished Master and Apprentice. I heard good things about Master and Apprentice.
That's exciting.
Oh, I do have an Audible thing, so I can listen to that because I also finished that in 2 days.
I did it in 1 day too. I started it at the beginning of work, I think last week. 1 day last week.
Yeah.
And I had like 20 minutes left when I got home, and I finished it. And okay, it's so good.
It's so good. She's so good at writing.
It was just so well written. I love how she narrated it. When those parts when she was breaking, I was like, no.
Oh, I know, because then when she started crying, I was like,
oh my gosh. I love that they kept it in too.
Me too.
She was just like, no, this is real. Like, oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so good. I can't wait to see what she's gonna do next. I think I've heard she's doing some fiction or something. I'm in. I'm
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I can't wait any longer.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sure this is what I do. I only use Audible like once a year when I do my free trial or whatever. And I had like a leftover credit. And I like it over doing, unfortunately, my libraries thing because I don't have like a set amount of time.
Yeah, it's hard.
And not that I take long to listen to audiobooks, but I feel like if I do a set amount of time, I don't do it.
Well,
I don't know what it is.
I'm exactly the same. It'll be like, your hold's ready. And I'm like, I'm not ready for my hold.
I have to decide for myself what time I'm going to be ready.
Well,
you can't tell me 2 weeks after I requested it, it's time.
Yeah. Well, and I think you're similar to me. I'm such a mood reader. Like, I have to be in the mood for that, you know? So I'll have holds come up and I'm like, no, I can't right now.
Yes, now I have to decide what to do with my other credit. And I don't know if I should spend it on Harrow the Ninth because I need to do that because the new book is out. But also I need somebody to do like I need to watch a video that breaks down who is who because I forget. I need you to read Gideon the Ninth so we can be in this together.
That. I know.
Because all the art is and the cosplayers are so good.
I'm excited. Like, I'm into it. I like the idea. However, I think I'm going to be like you and I'm going to be like, who's what? Like, I just, fantasy and a lot of characters, I sometimes can't.
I like the audiobook for that reason.
Yeah, okay.
Personally, because I felt like the audiobook for Gideon the Ninth and Harrow, that's all the same person. And she does such a good job with the accents of each character.
Oh, that's
that it helps a lot.
Yeah.
And the names are kind of hard to say. Same with like the Iron Widow. I like the way that she pronounced everything.
Okay.
And so that helped me a lot when there's a lot of different. It's like Nona Jasmine, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Harrowhawk. Well,
Yeah, especially when I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce that. In my head, I don't know what I'm saying.
My library is a thing when if you're not ready, you can bump it up and still say the front of the line. That's nice.
Yeah.
I don't think mine does. Sack Shock was also in Batman Beyond and Justice League Unlimited. That makes sense. He's a good boy. But man, Jeanette Cardy's book, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Oh no, did you freeze or did I freeze? Someone tell me.
But it could be me.
Okay, you're back now. So
okay, good.
It's back in our old days. I'm like, oh
god. Yeah, anybody watching though, if you don't know who Jeanette McCurdy is, you don't have to know. Just listen to the book. Just listen to it.
God, so good.
I mean, be aware that there's trigger warnings and there's a lot of content warnings, but it's like a 6 hour and some change audio.
Yeah, it's not that long.
It's crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, I was listening to some of it out loud while I was cleaning, and Elliot was like, "Oh my god, her mother's the worst. I barely heard any of it. This is so bad."
Yeah. I mentioned, I asked a coworker about it. I was like, "Hey, have you heard of this book?" And then I said the title, and she's like, "That's terrible." And I was like,
"Listen to the book." I think
listen to the book. Yeah, like, is it terrible?
I'm happy. I'm happy her mom is dead.
You should maybe listen to it. Yeah,
should probably check it out. And also, Miranda Cosgrove was great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, lovely. Right.
Lovely.
Love that. Hope they get back, like, reconnect again though. Because at the end, I was just sad about that. I know what happens, but I'm sad. That cover though.
It's the cutest cover.
It's perfect in every way. Her expression, the confetti in the urn.
Yes.
Just the little details, the colors.
So
it's just a perfect cover.
If you have a short book to read, look up Empty Eyes by Diego Grimbo. It's a horror psychological thriller about two orphans trying to survive World War I. That might be a little rough for me.
I mean,
only because I used to read so much fiction, nonfiction, World War I and II, and I gotta be in a place now to do that.
I get you.
I could listen to something else spooky. We'll see.
It's spooky era. Which
I'm feeling some fantasy, some like fun fantasy. So I'm feeling like right now.
Do we want to talk about October? We actually have it planned out, but we could pick the days for everything if you would like.
Yeah, okay. Let me bring it up on our event schedule. Where did I put it? There it is.
I have it written in front of me. I just don't have dates.
Oh yeah, because we should decide what's first.
Yeah.
I do have the next book of Kurosaki. I did order it.
Fantastic. Let's do that one last because it's the most books.
Okay, so maybe Ito first.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So the 2nd, October 2nd.
Well, that's Or are we do Halls and Reads, or we're gonna do 4?
Oh, sorry. I'm not. Yes, that's the 9th. Yeah. Sorry. I'm like looking at a calendar. It's not. Okay. That makes more sense.
So Junji Ito, and then Crossroads at Midnight.
Yeah, that's the
and
way
then
to go.
Kurosagi Corpse Delivery Service.
Yeah.
And then I need to plan stuff for Over Your New Reader for that month. So if anybody's any spooky reads requests.
Are we doing the new Ito? Is that what we decided? The Liminal Zone?
Sure, sounds good.
Okay. I mean, whatever you want to do, you know, we've got them all except the one.
I just figured whatever comes out, we'll talk about it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there may be another one coming out. Do I know? Let's see.
No.
No. There appears to always be one coming out. But I'm like,
yeah. I don't know how it does. I guess some of it's always like there's some like reprints or whatever.
Well, there's one coming out late October. That's not gonna work.
No. We'll do whatever the new one is. You say Liminal, whatever?
The Liminal Zone, yeah.
Anything for our boy Ito.
That's all right.
It looks
Anything
cute.
except No Longer Human.
And I think so that. Is this another anthology thing?
Yeah, it is.
I'll take it.
I have it right near me. I don't have the dust jacket on it, but it has a spoopy undercover I like.
Because last year we did Censor, right?
Yeah. With the hair.
Yeah. So I never picked up Dessert or Love Sickness, but I'll pick those up some other time. Pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I need to plan. What should I read on my other channel in October? Because you're invited to all of them, so just don't play anything Tuesday nights, please.
Okay.
Please and thank you.
So this is, you want spooky things, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like looking around.
I'm trying to think of what spook, because the problem is we read a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because I'm already like, okay, well, not Harrow County on my shelf, right? Like not.
Yeah, because we did that.
Yeah.
We should have saved the Me Love in the Dark, but we already read it.
What do we do?
Guys, what spooky books came out this year?
Yeah, tell us about the new spookies, because we're not.
I'm sorry, guys. I know this is like riveting for everybody. This is the part where you guys post, and then so we can enjoy it together. Let's see.
There's gotta be You said
Well, I found this like list, but it must be of like all time or something. Because somebody's like old. Red Room, the Antisocial Network came up first, and it looked very gross.
Yeah, we can't be reading that. I know
It's gross.
I know too much about it. It is gross. Yeah. Can't do that.
The Conjuring comics. It's a good idea. Batman Curse of the White Knight. Is that spooky? I don't think I trust these people recommending me things. Not you guys. The people on the sites. You guys I trust.
Were they listing weird stuff?
Well, okay, they recommended that Red Room thing again. And then Razor Blades. Razor Blades looks cool. Ooh, Razor Blade. Oh. Co-created by James Tynion.
Oh,
and Steve Fox. 400 pages of horror from some of the most cutting-edge names in the genre. I'll think about it.
Okay, I've seen this cover.
There's Through the Woods. Didn't you read Through the Woods?
Is that the Emily Carroll one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, I'm on that.
I mean, I read it years ago, but it's awesome.
I'm adding everything to my wish list so I can like think about it later. Well, then what are these lists?
No, that came out years ago. Someone mentioned The Passageway by Lemire. Yeah, The Passageway is awesome, but it's so tiny. There's no way you could do a whole show on it. It's just there's not much to it. I really liked it, but
I just have everybody read. No, Five Nights at Freddy's graphic novels.
Love that.
There's a Trick or Treat omnibus, like from the movie.
I've never seen the movie.
He's a little guy.
I know the like little with the
he's a little
burlap
guy.
sack or whatever. Yeah.
The Passageway by Lemire. I haven't read that.
Girl, I just said that. I said someone's mentioned a Natural Bridge. Yeah.
I know, it's looking the other way.
Oh.
I don't hear things over here. I hear.
That's all right. I was saying it's tiny, so like
Okay.
you could not
That's
do
probably...
a show on it.
Oh,
There's just no way. It's so short. But
Ice Cream Man. We've read Ice Cream Man.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to like double up some of these.
Yeah, I mean,
we talk about Chris like corpse delivery service in 2 shows.
I could probably do it. I feel like
it'll be fine. I'll think about some more. I've never read Revival. Have you?
I still haven't. No.
I've got those.
I would like to.
Put that in the ideas.
I think I started like the first book once. Sometimes that happens to me. Oh, I started that once. I didn't read.
I'm not gonna do witches.
Oh, girl. Can you imagine?
Gosh, people love witches. Ooh, what's Cat-Eyed Boy? You heard about that?
Let me look up the cover.
It's by Kazuo Umezu. Kicked out of the monster side of being too human, the monster child lives in the shadows and acts in the human world, finding a place to stay, then acting like a victim of supernatural threats to the families and neighborhood he tries to find refuge in. Neat.
It sounds neat, but it also looks like it's impossible to get.
Oh, bummer. Well, I'll think about it some more.
I guess you can get it on Comixology, but that's about it.
I did bring back my subscription for a little bit.
I still need to cancel it. But maybe I should use it.
Well, now that I got my work iPad, so I'm going to try. James, no. Horror comic, how about just take a look at Boom Buffy, what they did to this series? That's too scary even for me.
It's too scary, you're right.
It's way too scary.
Oh, never again.
No. Oh, maybe some Justice League Dark. Yeah.
Sounds like a thing you'd like.
Jess isn't here to tell me that, so I have to say it for her. But well, I'm glad you got to read it. We should read more soon. Are we still doing 20th Century Boys next week, or are you gonna have time?
I'm saying I'm in. I have not finished even a volume, but I'm determined.
Okay, I'm in too. So we'll see. As much as you can do, just let me know.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be a good movie to watch over Discord after you finish.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube, so we just screen share it.
Are we doing the 21st century as well to end it?
Yeah, I think so. But just see how much you can do.
Okay.
If you can't, it's okay. We can just do 20th and then do another part.
Okay. Well, it's just like
it just continues all of it.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, everybody, have a good Sunday. Watch some good TV this week. Watch She-Hulk, please, because it was still very good.
I still need to do it.
Kristan,
I know.
It's okay.
I know.
It's okay. I forgive you.
One day.
Elliot, give us a smiley face. Thanks, Elliot.
Lovely. And check out InStockTrades.com where you can get the Milestone Compendium for a really great price. And a lot of other books that we love. So check them out.
See you all next week with 20th Century Boys. Bye.